delayed, I extend warm welcome to you this conference. Is the sound is coming all right? Sir. It's okay. 40 under 40 is the first time in the security industry these kind of awards are being given. Young people are being recognized. I remember that 20 years back, 21 years back, I was with Group 4, and it took 1.5 years for me keep appearing for the interview, and I couldn't get that kind of a job. The reason was, one, that you don't have a height. Second, you're not from the police background. Thirdly, you're not from the army background. The position was, for which I had applied, was deputy managing director. So I didn't have the background, and therefore it took me so many interviews, and my boss, David Hudson, kept trying that you are working in a colored water company, the way he explained Pepsi-Cola, and now you should be getting into this kind of a job. I must say that security business is not only physical security, it's a state of mind. You start behaving in a particular fashion once you are conscious about the security. I say so because after 3 months, I was the managing director of Group 4. And let me a little bit talk about myself. And I feel good in sharing with you, I built the world's largest security company. 120,000 people. Mr. Sharma is here. He would remember that this is the largest, biggest company one has created. I had the pleasure of giving, as a Group 4 company, not as an individual, security to the largest number of diplomatic missions in the world. 65 embassies, 18 specialized agencies of United Nations, and so on and so forth. This all happened in that time because A, I had a good team, and secondly, I think I was leading from the front. Giving you example of that, after 10 years, I moved to a different company, again a MNC. In that company, in a short period of time, we again got very large orders. I have the pleasure of visiting Afghanistan, Tel Aviv, NASA, and all these big installations where the security is absolutely important. I have come here to welcome you on behalf of Anuragji and Business World. I have been insisting, Anurag, that why don't you start on the security community as well, This is its latest version. Otherwise, you would see the Business World, various communities, it has been coming. It's for the last 1 year that he has decided to start the Business World magazines and conferences and seminars where we can interact. Fact remains that it is the largest employer in the country. Estimates could be different, but it is also stated that nearly 1 crore or 10 million people are involved in the security business directly or indirectly. If we include cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, electronic security, certainly this number will come to nearly 1 crore. It is extremely important field. You can live without many other things, but security is, I would say, the most important thing. May it be aviation security or a health security or sports security. And I'm going to talk about in terms of the crowd management, because we have crossed now China as well in terms of population, and various events, when they take place, there are some flaws remain which can be improved upon. So the other avenue for the security companies would be to hire and to start the, I should say, the conferences and the crowd management companies. Moving, I have total 21 years of experience in the security industry, and I would say that by and large, all major multinational companies would have offered me a job, or I would have worked with them. The reason has been simple, if I may share with my young colleagues, that you have to lead from the front. All the airports in this country, I have been personally leading from the front, and I have given security to them, including the inauguration of Indira Gandhi Airport, when at a 4 days short notice, we were asked to start this. I can go on in terms of the achievements where I was associated, but the fact remains one has to lead from the front. It's a different field, you know. You can replace anything. If any product or service goes bad, but you cannot replace security guard for that event where he has done a mistake, you know. If I'm selling Pepsi Cola or a Colgate or any clothing or furniture or even courier service, you can compensate with money. But when it comes to security services, A, it has to be in time, and if there is any kind of a loss happens by the negligence of the people, then it becomes very difficult to compensate, you know. Therefore, people look for such security companies which have the total compliance and training part of it. Without training, it becomes very difficult, whether it's a classroom training or it's a on-the-job training. Training is absolutely must for that, you know. Excuse me, can you ask for water? I can go on, but right now I'm going to talk to you on a subject of crowd management, you know. In India, I don't think we have been doing crowd management, but there is no specialized vertical or a company where crowd management has been started or implemented. In US, in Europe, there are specialized companies who take care of the crowd management. As they might be thinking, it requires a different kind of skills, you know. It cannot be the same security guard which is standing at the gate will be serving the purpose of standing outside the chairman's office. So different skills, different verticals are required, you know. Since the conference is of 40 under 40, they have 20 years, 25 years to go. And therefore, those who have specialized or wish to specialize this area, it will have a large scope for that, you know. Can I ask for a request for my presentation? It is not that we have not been doing events, very large events in India, and they have been very successful. In this, I must say that the few of the companies, number 1, 2, 3 companies, without naming, they have been performing very well, you know. But a specialized service is different. In United States, where I was a little bit associated with the largest company in events management, they used to engage youngsters, those who go and get the training. During the day, they are studying, and in the evening, if there were events, they were deployed there, and they were able to make money and an extra amount for that, you know. But specialized skills are very important. I understand even Raksha University in Ahmedabad, RRU, they are also having this kind of a course or similar kind of a course just to train these people, you know. Because we have a very large students force, and they are willing to get into this kind of, into the security field, then obviously this becomes while they are studying, they can work on it. When I joined the company about 21 years back in the security industry, we used to be calling only guards. I had not met any security director by that time, especially G4S was dealing with the multinational companies. 74% of American companies were with G4S. Besides, I have told you that largest number of embassies and commissions were there, you know. When 9/11 happened, that time, the title started changing. And I must say, I used to go and meet the administration managers or the security officers, but the fact remains that thereafter, the importance of security started getting realized, whether it was the Taj event or it was a New York event, you know. It is a new avenue for the security companies. None of the companies in India as on today have this kind of saying that we have a vertical for the crowd management. I will share with you the list of events which has happened and how much people have lost their lives if they could have been managed differently. It involves planning, directing the manner in which the public gathers together at an event and moves around in the event terrain. I can show you several pictures which we see in the newspapers every day when there is a lot of crowd is there and people at times lose their lives. They are uncomfortable. May it be an event, may it be going to Vaishno Devi or any other places where there's a lot of crowd is there. Even in one temple in Chhatrapur area, I can see over 1.5 lakh people visiting that place, but it has to be organized differently. Delhi airports, absolutely, it's a nice airport. It's the biggest airport in India as on today, and they say they are getting awards. But I would say there's a lot of crowd. In the evenings, morning, whenever you go there, in the last 1 month, I would have gone 7, 8 times, but the crowd is too much to manage. Cricket stadium, people become, how do I say that, very, at times excited and start shouting, and then there's a possibility of, crowd creating a problem there. Who wins, who doesn't win, kind of a thing. We all understand the importance of crowd management, but still I would say if situations and behavior of people cannot be predicted, a lot of people act in crowds in ways that they won't act on the street by themselves, but you are together in a group, you can start behaving differently, which is not in line, the behavior required. Yes, there are many stories about eager and impatient crowds pushing to get closer to the stage, for the events. And many times mistakes happen that the organizer issue large number of tickets, then the seating capacity is there. And when they are not able to enter there, then they create a problem. Or your favorite artist is not there, and some changes happen, then there are issues. They have to be managed. Yes, there are challenges. We are the most populated country in the world. Stampedes in huge gatherings at large events. This is common. I can share the list with you. Disorganized crowd management. This only happens, disorganization, when a lot of students, even young people, at times old people, some incident happens, then that flares up. And risk management is not taken care of. The behavior of people in a crowd is unexpected. Everything is going fine, but suddenly some incident happens that it becomes unpredictable how they are going to be behaving. For pedestrian, the movement is so easy and flexible in comparison to the vehicles and driving, since they are governed by driving regulations. However, pedestrians can easily change their movement and direction whenever they want. And idea is that we have to manage the traffic at the event place. If they are not properly done, it can be one factor where the problem can arise. This is, you all know about it in terms of the stampedes in Vaishno Devi, how many killed, and various events. Every day, every newspaper, you can find out such kind of events happening, so stampedes happening. Perhaps they could have been saved. Some people could have been saved if they were properly guided and given the directions, This is about till last year. basically Vaishno Devi, Sabrimala, Pratapgarh, temples. In a place like temple, when people go with a lot of spirit, with a lot of respect for the god and goddesses, even this kind of incident take place. What it involves is the ushering and security and the principles of crowd management, which I'm going to talk to you. An appropriate plan for crowd management entails ushering and security personnel, mainly in sports. I would say that security has a great role, directions, and ushering is important. Ushers can communicate information from the stands of the main office and assist guide guests to their seats. Many places we go, we don't know where to find the seats. Despite the fact tickets have been issued. Despite the fact tickets have been duplicated with the same numbers. Security is also a significant feature of crowd management plan. Personnel should be experienced in handling disputes, protecting them from theft, implementing emergency services, and providing an overall safe and secure environment for the guests. What are the factors? All this is known to us, but under the topic I'm just sharing, it comes to the conscious mind. Vehicle and pedestrian traffic flows, crowd control barriers, barricades, turnstiles, and signposts. काफ़ी जगह जाके पता नहीं लगता किस साइड पे जा रहे हैं हम, राइट में, लेफ्ट में, पूछते रहेंगे. Security services, guides, and stewards. Regulation, communication of rules, planning and adjusting rules. Emergency and disaster plans. Lot of lives have been lost at many places because proper emergency and plans were not made there, ambulances and other things. Equally important is communication with crowd and between the staff and management, because otherwise there could be a misinformation, something has happened. If the proper communication is there, how the event is going on, it will make a difference. You can be better off in that way by communicating on walkie-talkies or by your other systems. Where people get agitated, if they have to wait, they have taken a tickets of a match or any other event, when they have to wait for a long time. And this one, limiting wait times and feeling of aimlessness, searching where to sit, right, left, here, there, and half an hour it takes, they are not able to find things. Ambience makers, colors, lighting, and music. Prediction based on big data. If you have done these kind of events, particular type of event, then you can by and large predict what kind of crowd will be coming. Is it a college crowd, it's a middle-aged crowd, or it's any other religious program is going on, so we can predict. And if it is a whole day kind of a thing, you have gone to see the match, then catering is important, toilets are important, and vehicle parking, protection from weather condition. Suddenly weather is bad, and then people feel we have bought the tickets, we can't see it, what will happen? There's no announcement, Effective crowd management helps to ensure the safety of those at an event, from the guests to the staff and performers. The consequences of poorly managed crowd can be disastrous. People can be injured, lives can be lost. Even if an event is poorly managed, but nobody is hurt, it may not abode well for the future events. Once the particular event has gone bad, if you are going to repeat in the next year or after some time, the reputation of your management goes. I'm going to show you after this the complete flow. A steady flow of crowds. लोग रुकने नहीं चाहिए, सीधे चलने चाहिए, directions पता हो, what kind of tickets, which color, which direction. preventing excessive dense crowds, As much the space is available, people should be included only up to that level. 50 seats are there, you issue 200 tickets, it becomes difficult, so people keep standing and then getting upset. Limiting the number of first aid occurrences, incident reports, and violent offenses. Any events company should categorize, and because of that, the different type of crowds will be there. Sports, entertainment, and business. All these three have different kind of, I would say, the audience will be going there, and accordingly, measures have to be taken, As I mentioned, that crowds can be furious because of various reasons. Because if the management has not properly managed the event, then these kind of things can happen, And first line says even murder have happened in the past. It's important to understand that no two crowds are same, Crowds are different, event can be same, and behavior can be different, And when they are violent, resulting the destruction of property and personal injury in extreme cases, Crowd management plans should be adjusted to meet the needs of the event and the potential crowd, especially when there are music events and a lot of girls are there, ladies are there, and some kind of hooligans will come there and start making noises, Some of which are the areas possibly, I would say airports, number one. One or two reasons for that, airports. When any international passenger lands in India and he finds such dense crowd, the impression becomes different, First impression coming to our country starts with the airport, How they are organized, who is helping them, who is assisting them. Same is true of railways, shopping malls, sports, entertainment events, embassies, and many other large congregation of areas, Most advanced and latest technological tools are used to create a better experience. This will be covered next, What are the elements? I would say security, of course, is the number one, which will have mobile patrol, armed guards, escort guards, and marshals, trained, and even venue management certificates are there internationally in US and other countries. One goes through this, and these are available online as well, Venue management, who is the in charge of which area, supervise all operations and figure out any possible choke points, Access routes, signages, emergency services. Don't keep asking, I have to go to right, I have to go to left, this is my ticket. Everything should be with the signages. Usherers, crowd managers, quick response. Nowadays, drones, facial recognition, or AI integration are making crowd management much better, at least in various countries, For anything, planning is important, You have to go and check the place, and interaction with their team leaders, whatever you have made there. Event contractors, the venue owner, local authorities, emergency services, local transport providers, neighboring businesses and other third parties affected by your event. You do an event, but only neighbors can create a problem, and the police and the other rules and regulations have to be taken approval of. It's equally important to imagine the risk, health and safety risk, Layout of the space, you may like to consider staggering the entry process, arranging concrete or plastic barriers to keep pedestrian and vehicles separate, using fencing to keep emergency access routes clear, which area who can go and which area others can't go, Since we all come from the security area, I will not dwell upon this thing, but all we understand, we behave differently, And this can be mapped as well with the help of drones as well, and your other managers and usherers. Commuting with the crowd. If there is some incident happens and there is not public address system, and not your, how do I say, the proper communication is not between your crowd managers, security personnel, and somebody says something has happened and people start believing it, then it becomes difficult, So, prominently displayed signages is the easiest way to communicate key information, either with a fixed notice or LED boards showing updates. Try to position signs so that they are visible from afar, making it less likely that guests will need to stop and crowd around them. Even the map can be given of your seat behind the tickets, how to reach where it is, You are going to be seated, Now we can say what is a casual crowd, conventional crowd that comes through the experience. If you have been doing the events, and the nature of event will define that. Even a gathering of people who are waiting to cross the street at a busy intersection in a large city going to the event, A collection of people who gather primarily to be excited and to express one or more emotions, expressive crowd and acting crowd. We can always categorize the kind of crowd which will be coming depending upon the location of the event and the nature of the event. I would say the importance is signages. Likewise, slippery, no alcohol beyond this point, exit only, car park entrance 100 meters, Communicating with our team is the most important thing, At every level, two-way radios remain the most reliable method of communication, although telephone system and verbal messages may be adequate in a smaller venue. In the event of an incident, you will need to know who is calling, where they are, and their situation. Agree on codes or names to ensure there is no confusion, and consider keeping one line for emergency use only, The idea is, if something goes, what if? How we will manage? Whether it's a rains, whether somebody, not feeling well, ambulances, distances, and even the distance from the gate to the seat, it should not take more than 4 to 5 minutes, There are technologies which you all are favorable, knowledgeable, wearable devices. These are basics which are being used. Video cameras, facial recognition system, baggage inspection machines should be done quickly at place, adequate in numbers. Yes, high-tech drones. Now drones are being used in various locations, and the utilization of these will increase. command and control center. Any kind of information, number of people, entrances will be controlled by the command and control center. So just to go through the action plan, entry and exit plan. How many entries are there and how many exits are there? Very well displayed in case of emergency. Car parking, screening, OTP-based verification can be done. Screening visitors, RFID, DFMD, HHMD, these are all known to you. List of prohibited items. Alcohol comes first. Psychoactive substances, medicines, sharp objects, etc. People take miniatures for a big event sitting there. They have been found to do that, And if you stop them, then there is an issue on that, Even drugs, Deployment of lady marshals, particularly for the ladies, Seating capacity plan, number of visitors seated for disabled. If there are some people who are disabled, how and where they will reach, who will support them, Announcements should be made when necessary, team, audience, and emergency services, in between intra and inter. Correct signages. Sometimes signages are wrongly put. They upside down, direction right or left makes a difference. Demarcating areas and barricades. Suddenly light goes, adequate power back system, Perimeter risk assessment, which means that if the tickets, any show is with the tickets, then people try to come in there and they want to cross the perimeter or cut the perimeter. Contingency plan, absolutely important. Emergency services, fire, medical, and police. Depending upon the strength of the event, you may like to inform the police and make your own, or you make your own arrangement to reach them. Yes, I would say most important, adequate washroom facility. People keep going here and there and becomes difficult, or they become crowded, their number is less. Is time over or what? Okay, I think I am being told. Potential of the crowd and event management can support the Indian economy, The international events can be organized here, The overseas people will feel confident that we are prepared to do this. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Benjamin Franklin. Main aim is to real-time calculation of crowd density, since the decisions that will be taken will depend upon this calculation. So it has to be highly accurate,